Good Erev Shabbos, everybody. Today's is Parshas Lecha, and the strange thing about Parshas Lecha, it's a seder that was definitely not written in order. And obviously there is an order to it, and I'm going to try and explain that. But because it's not written in order, there's different interpretations to the seder, how it was written and when things took place. So we'll go along with those ideas. So first of all, you have to establish, how do I know it wasn't written in order? Because it says that the Ma'aseh of Lech Lecha took place when Avraham Avinu was 75 years old, right? Rashi tells us in Parshas Boy that the 430 years that it took for the Yidden to be in the time before they went out was 400 years from the birth of Yitzchak and 30 years from the Bris Ben Absorim. So it was that's what took place when Avraham Avinu was 70, the Bris Ben Absorim. So therefore, if it took place when he's 70, that's 5 years before Lech Lecha, before he told him to leave. So obviously he's in Eretz Yisrael 5 years earlier. We'll have to talk about that. When did the war of the Arba Melachim take place? We have to talk about that too, because that's negeya a lot in the history to understand the history, the story. Okay, so we're going to start. Now, there's another point as far as Lech Lecha goes. Is this the start of the Nisyonis? And this is the way I learned Pshat, because you have in Pirkei Avos, you have the measurement, it says Asor Nisyonis, Nisnas Avraham Avinu, so they count the Nisyonis. And I don't seem to count the way they count. It's not everybody. I wouldn't have a chutzpah to if everybody agreed to one thing, I wouldn't come out with something else. But the Rishonim don't agree with themselves. So therefore, since there's so many different days, so I figure another one's not going to hurt. And the thing over to understand a little bit different and stuff like that. And I think what we'd explain is what I consider Nisayan, maybe because to me that's a Nisayan, and what he called. So some count the thrown into the Kivshin Aish as a Nisayan. I don't call that a Nisayan because he had no choice. A Nisayan is you had a choice. He didn't sacrifice himself knowing he's going to be thrown into the fire. It was Terach went and squealed to Nimrod, and Nimrod went and tossed him in the fire. But it had nothing to do with it. Haran had a choice. Haran died a Kiddush Hashem. You know, he was told, you want to follow Avram or you want to follow Nimrod. So he chose Avram because Avram got saved and he got burnt up. But basically, Avram had no choice. So that's not an sign to me. So what would it be to consider the same? So I break mine up it goes from Lech Lecha to Lech Lecha. All the 10 Nisyonis. I don't know if I can remember with all 10 of them at the one, but we'll go along as many as I remember. But the idea, and I break it into, what is the second Lech Lecha? The second Lech Lecha is Lech Lecha L'Akeda. To the Akeda, Al-Ha-Maria. Those are the two Lech Lechos that you have. Lech Lecha to Ba'atzcha Malatcha, and Lech Lecha Le'Otza Maria. Those are the 10 Nisyonis are in those, and these two parshas. And of them, 5 of them, I believe, they come out to 5, are to prove that he held of Adnus. In other words, what is the Chiddush of Avram? He was the first one to call the Rebbeinu Shalom Hashem. Adnus. You're my boss, you're my owner, you're whatever you want to call it. So I owe you a perfect allegiance because you owe me. not for any other reasons. No, it's nothing here. I owe you. So if I owe you, so I have to obey immediately, no matter what reservations you yourself have, but you don't voice them because it's not negated. The boss said, do it this way, you do it this way. Not do it there. So those are 5 like that. And then I have this 5. The last 5 were where he becomes a liar. In other words, Avram will be disproved of everything that he would preach till then. And to follow orders in that case too. No, it's a higher degree of following orders, I guess. The same thing. No, you have to make yourself all of a sudden into a liar. So let's start with Lech Lecha, the first one. What's the Nisayon? The Nisayon is go, leave your Artzecha, Meladcha, Beis Avicha. Let's be realistic. He's a religious guy. Terach is an Eved Avodah Zarah. Do you think it's going to bother him too much to leave his father's house? So what does it make? And secondly, who's he going to go with? He doesn't go by himself. It says, Vayikach Avram Esor Ishlim Esor Benochem Eskol Rechushim Ves HaNefesh Asher Osa B'Choron. Takes the whole yeshiva with him. We're all going together, right? So if that's the case, like, what's the big deal? And then in a sense they say, but still, what, I have to make you move? Why do you have to make you move? Let's be practical. Somebody comes over to you and says to you, I have a business in California, and I have a chance, and I'm going to want to give you a chance to become a millionaire. And I'm going to pay you that salary, but you got to go to L.A., right? The guy gets on a plane, he goes to L.A. I mean, do you have any Havamini, and he wouldn't do it? I mean, of course he's going to go to L.A., right? So if Avram is telling him, what is he going to do? And I'm going to make you everything else, but if you stay here, it's not going to happen. So, of course he's going to go. What's the shayla? I mean, that's no big nisayon. Okay, so what is the nisayon then? Shiva said this, really. Said that the difference is that I can't offer you a position except in California, right? Because that's where my business is. So I can't do anything for you here. To Rabbeinu Shalom, you're going to make me rich. What does it make to you if I go to Choron or not? Don't go to. If I go to Eretz Yisrael, I go or I stay in Choron. So why don't you make me rich here? And I don't understand another thing, that in Eretz Yisrael, I was there already, like I said, and I was not successful. I came back here. In Choron, I made the whole people religious in Choron. So you should want to keep me in Choron. Why you ship me out to Eretz Yisrael again? And he doesn't ask these questions. That's the nisayon of Lech Lecha. Not that, I'm sending you away from your home. What big deal? That doesn't, how many Mexicans come and go away from their home? And everything else there. There's no big deal. No one considers that in the saying. And even years ago, the Yidden in the early part of the century would come to America to make a living and then move back to Europe with the money they make. So that's the Ma'aseh B'chol Yom they did this. So it's not what kind of saying is that. And again, and even on the Mesilas Nefesh part that they want to learn, even if they would have threatened them, how many people die for their religion? I don't consider that necessary. You want to say the godless of Avraham, he had 10 tests and he passed them all. Big deal. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry passes that test. Not every Tom, but all the Dicks and Harrys do at least. So there's somebody there. Okay. Okay. You also see that Avram is in the Madrega of Noach at this point. He is not yet in Maneach of Avram. Beinishim is giving him reasons to go. In other words, that means Eselakim is halach noyach, Eselakim is halach Avram at this point, until the end of the Seder. Okay. So Avram goes, and here's where he made a little bit of an error. First, Vayelech Avram kashediber lo Hashem, Vayelech ite Lot, and Lot went with him. That means there's somehow a partnership, right? We're equal. I went, and you went with me, right? The next pasuk says, Vayikach Avram es Sora Ishtay. He took his wife, Vesloit ben Ocher, and his town was called Chumash Shiur. That means I'm the Rebbe. I'm moving the yeshiva. You're coming with me, that I'm in charge. But the first one, he was not in charge. So therefore, Lot may have that that I am not really your Talmud. I am your Yerush. I am the guy that's following you. I'm going with you, but I am not your Talmud. I'm equal to you. Okay, that's the point. And that's where somebody, maybe the errors started with Lot, whatever errors he made. Okay, and they all go, and they started going into Eretz Yisrael, and obviously nothing helped them. They started to go down. He kept going south. In other words, he can't find a place where God says this is it. So he keeps going. So therefore, I haven't yet found, and he's probably going to all the places that had Yiddish things. He came in, he comes from the north. He's coming from Harav. So if he's coming from Harav, so he's going south, going from north to south, so he gets to the Yerushalayim first, everything else before he gets to Hebron. And all these things there. So Mela, he's passing all these things, and God keeps telling him, keep going. So all the holy places don't count. So where am I going? And he doesn't ask. Then Vahirov, there's a hunger. And he has to leave. This is the first hunger in the world. And he has to leave Eretz Canaan to go to Eretz Mitzrayim, because Eretz Mitzrayim doesn't have a hunger, because they irrigate by the river. They don't rain by them, so they don't have any problem of water, because it's irrigating. Whatever it is there. They don't have trees, but they have fields and gardens and everything. Yad Hashem. Okay, that's Mitzrayim. So he went down to Mitzrayim to eat. Now he has a bigger kasha. Rebbeinu Shalom, you're chasing me out of Eretz Yisrael, so obviously Eretz Yisrael is not the place you want me to go. So why don't you leave me in Harav? What's the difference than Harav? It's the same Mitzrayim and Harav, same place. So we see that, and all that he doesn't ask. So we got at least 3 of them that he didn't ask. So far, whatever you want to do. Okay. And then he says something to his wife. Okay. He says, we go on, and I know you're a beautiful lady. Now this, to tell you a story, because he's a real tznuadik person, he never looked at his wife. You tell that to me, I tell you full of baloney. That's all I can tell you. I don't know if he'll look at his wife or not, but he was an uncle of a niece, right? So his brother gave birth to Sarah, right? So what does he do with her? Probably plays with her on his knees. Ask any little kid who has a little niece, a nephew, right? They're going to do. He's 10 years old, so he's going to play around with his niece, right? He knows quite good what she looks like, right? And Baruch Hashem gets older and older and older, and he decides he's going to marry her. He doesn't know what she looks like. Okay. Plus he knows what she looks like. So I'm going to ask you, Kasha, what do you know the color of your mother's eyes? It's usually a toss-up, guys. Okay. Would you say you love your mother? Definitely. But you still don't know the color of your mother's eyes. I never looked at her. What do you mean you never looked at her? You can't recognize your mother? Of course I can recognize my mother. But I never looked at her eyes. So this is what it means. Avram knew what Sarah looked like. There's no question about it. He can recognize it. That's one of the reasons, because why we all look different, so people don't go to somebody else's house. If If we all look the same, you may land up in the wrong house. So therefore, we all look different for that reason alone that you brought down. So if that's the case, so of course I know what you look like. But I don't know if you have a dimple or not, because I never really stared at you. In other words, to know the color of your eyes, are they green, are they blue, are they hazel? Exactly what color are they? I have no idea. So that means but to do it, I would have to stare you in the eyes. Now I don't know about, remember when we were kids, you want to start a fight with somebody, you ask him, what are you looking at? And the guy would say, you, and then that's the fight. In other words, why are you fighting just because you're looking at me? What's the fight? I'm challenging you. I looked him in the eye and I faced him down, right? What all this means? It means I challenge you. He never challenged his wife, so he never stared at her. He knew what she looked like, but he never stared at her. So he never stared at her, so that was the tznius of it. He never challenged his wife. That you can do. And therefore, that he wouldn't know how exactly the whole actual forms and the extra special things about her, he wouldn't know unless he's looked at this, at seeing her for the first time in a reflection, as opposed to seeing her, personally looking in her eyes. That's what it means there. But he says to them, you're a beautiful lady, and when you come down to Mitzrayim, they're going to take you away from me. If I say that you're my wife, they're going to take me away. They're going to kill me. So I got to save my life, right? So do me a favor and say you're my sister. Okay, not bad. That's not what he says. He says, this is what he says, Richard. And I'll say this to my wife, they'll kill me. So say that you're my sister. Why? In order they should pay me a lot of money for you, right? And they'll also keep me alive. What's the most important thing? Keep you alive and making the money, right? Of course, he's got it backwards somehow, but he doesn't got it backwards. Shot is, nothing's happening to me that I know. Why? God just promised me. You go and get taken care of you. Nothing's going to happen to me. But he also promised me money and the gedula. I got to do something about that. The shtadlus I do is meaningless, but it means that I have to still do something, and he gives me bracha to whatever I do. So I'm thinking already offering you as a wife. Now, so for wife, what do you think a wife's worth? To the Mitzrayim. Go to Africa, right? Go to a tribe over there. The chief of the tribe wants to buy a wife. What's he going to pay for? Camels. Huh?
A few camels.
Camels. How many?
Maybe 70 camels.
70, you think? You give him half a camel. Or what do you need? There's plenty of women around. What's nice to mark up, right? More beautiful. Give you another camel. Good. Right? What did he give? Let's say he's saying, Avodim, Shvoches, Asoines, Gemalim. And besides that, it says that Vayavon Kovid Moed B'Mikna B'Kesav V'Vazohav. Hey, he made you into a millionaire. Why? You got to be crazy. Okay, so now I'm going to go into the why we're out of order, and I want the war of the Chamisha of Kedolayma take place before the first time around. Avram Avinu at this time, and it says not like Rashi. Rashi says one of the reasons he went back the same way was to pay them back for the money. Now, that I also don't know. I don't know why they lived in Rashi's time. You walk into a hotel with 1,000 people, right? And you tell them we'd like rooms, right? Even these migrants, they want rooms, right? They get a free room, but they bill the government right away, right? But they'll give them the room. But if there's no money here, you ain't getting a room. I mean, it can come. I mean, I'll give you maybe one guy, I may give you a thing. You want to take over my whole hotel? Baloney. I'm not going to trust you. They're going to come back and you're going to pay me back. How are you going to pay me back? How do I know where you're going to get the money from? Oh, we're sorry, we have no money today. We'll get money somewhere along the line, we'll pay you back. What, are you crazy? We didn't know. He didn't know what's going to happen. Avram, he's going to Mitzrayim and this and that. He didn't know all this stuff. So that's why it take a little bit, I don't understand it. But that's the way about the best they could do. But it could be, he had the $1 million, I don't know if you guys ever read the story, the $1 million note, the £1 million note. It's not $1 million. It's a book, it's an English book. It's a short story of a guy who has a note from a bank for $1 million. I think for whatever they call it. The pounds. I think it was $1 million, whatever it is. But he can't, no one can cash it for him. Can he get stuff or not? That was the bet that seems to be. You have $1 million, but you can't buy anything because no one can give you change for $1 million. So what do? Is the people going to give you or they're not going to give you? So the guy proves that they'll give you. On the sum that somewhere along the line you're going to be my buddy and you're going to split this money and then you're going to pay me back whatever it is there. But there's got to be something. So if we say that Avram had a lot of gold and stuff like that, but they didn't have exact change, like in here where they would leave. Now why would he be so rich and stuff like that? So we have to understand the word of the Arba Malachim against Kedoshim. It says the four Malachim, first of all, they were country kings, not city kings. Country kings, according to the Gemara, they had the minimum they had was 130,000 soldiers, or 130,000 generals, which makes an army of approximately 5 billion people. Now, where you get so many people, not negated to me the whole thing, but that's supposed to be the army. That was the army of him, that was the army of Sancheiriv, and that will be the army of Gog and Magog versus Levi. So this is what you're dealing with. You figure a soldier has an animal, he has a weapon, he has maybe a slave with him, right? So he's got a lot of people there, a lot of money. Besides that, they invade a bunch of cities. They kill out all the giants in the world, all the Rephaim, right? Who they kill? Hazuzim Bahom, is the Rephaim Bashlis Kanayim, right? That's the first one. The Rephaim Hazuzim Bahom, Eimen B'Shaviki Yosayim, Hachayri B'Haram Yisayah, right? Asher Abedbo, Vayadei Mishpot, Vayakos Kol Tzedei Amaleki, Vigamis HaMayri, Yesh B'Chatzin Toma. Right? They killed all these countries, and they took all their property. And then they came to Sdom, and they do that to Sdom too. They take all their property. And Avram comes now and saves Sdom. And Sdom says, Tenli HaNefesh, HaNefesh, you keep the money. Which money is he talking about? The money he took from Ketoloima, or he's talking about the money that he took from him? Only he took from him. What do you got? The Shaykhs to the only of Ketoloima, right? So that money is not given him in any case. When he said to you, you keep your money, he's only talking about the money of Sdom you keep. All the other money he's keeping, he's got billions of dollars there. He's got the richest man in the world. So now what does he want? How's he going to make money? Tell me you're the only one sister. They're going to take you to Paro. Paro's going to become my mechutn, right? You want to become because he's going to make the shidduch with me. He's going to pay me $1 billion for your shidduch. It's not going to be, he's not sending me a cow. He wants a shidduch because we're rich parties. That's what he wants to do. So that's what he did to him. So basically, if you do medrash, they put him in a box and all that stuff. Yeah, you put him in a box to be found, not to be lost. You want to disguise somebody, what do? You put a pillow under his stomach there, you put some cotton in her cheeks, and what he called, you can put a couple of spots and make him like ugly moles or something on it. What's the big deal? You can do. You need a makeup artist. Okay, so you need a makeup artist. So it's coming to, but whatever it is, but it's not. I don't have to put you in a box. In a box. How do you keep a box with a live person in it? Unless you put them in a coffin. But basically in a box, so there's a tilt in the box, so the person falls this way, so all of a sudden the guys are moving the thing, how they're catching that. So they thought these guys are by the border there. They're waiting for the customs. They were coming into the country. They say there's something strange in that box over there. Check what they got in there. And they open it up, they got a girl. Oh boy, I say, he made a point of finding her. Otherwise, the other way, whoever looks at you. You have 6 people, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, okay, go ahead. Right? And that's the way you would do it. Unless you're afraid that the guy is afraid that they're getting some spies coming across. But past that, that's what you do. How many people with you, and then you go right there. They never would have caught it. Even a beautiful woman. Why do you have a point of a beauty mark? What's the point of a beauty mark? The whole point of a beauty mark is to make you look. If a person is beautiful, and I'm vertracht in meine Sachen, there's nothing about her that's going to make me look at her. She looks normal. She got 2 eyes, a nose, mouth, 2 ears, not the same thing. She looks fair. Nice in another one. I'm not thinking about those things. I'm thinking about my job, my Seforim taste of this. I'm not thinking about anything that has to do with her. But I see something, a person, I see this black thing on them, this big bowl on their face. Oh, that's ugly. And I take a look at the mole, and I see, if that mole wouldn't be there, that person would have been so gorgeous, wouldn't have been in there, right? So now you saw how beautiful I am. Why did you see how beautiful I am? Because you looked at the mole, the beauty mark. That's why it's called a beauty mark, even though it's ugly. It's made to make you look at me, and therefore you decide how beautiful I am, and therefore the thing over there. So basically, so it's very easy to make people to, when you make something look, that's when they find. If they don't make you look, they're not going to find. Because they're not looking, so they're not going to find. But if they're going to make them look, that's the whole point. So that's what he did over there. So that way they'll do it. So anyway, they come to Mitzrayim.
Why did he say v'choyse nafshi b'gulei? Why did he say v'choyse nafshi b'gulei? Why did he say and that's that I should live? His whole point was that he should get money. Why did he end up and that I should live?
Yeah.
If the whole point
is to make money,
why do you say that so that I should live?
No, I have to do shabbos for that too, but it's no big deal. But I say you're my brother, that's good enough. I'm saying, give me you're my sister. You're not going to kill me already. That's not the point. But I'm not really doing this type of thing just for that. This thing for that I'd be saved very silly. I'm making sure we find you, so I'll be rich. That's what we're going to be. Are you rich already? So the thing is that God still promised me more riches. So what's his name? They just said on yesterday, when Trump won the election, the stock market went up. So Tesla, what's his name? Who's the Tesla?
Musk.
No, Musk. Musk went and he made $40 billion. The stock went up 14%. So it made $40 billion. And he has over $250 billion now. What then another $40 billion, right? Okay, but no, he didn't give it back. Okay, so therefore that's the idea. But now you're giving me more money, he's like more money. Okay. So they take it. Now, could be the Shiva could have started here. Because the Bris Ben Psalm took place before already. So it could have started here, right? In this thing, except that power kicks us out. The difference is between the Parah and Avimelech is Parah kicks us out. Well, what does he say? Avram, he gives all the things. Then he Benishim punishes Parah and tells him this guy's a marriage, she's a lady. So he says, what'd you do me? All right. Now take your wife and go. right? But it's enough to trust him that he's going to go. Doesn't trust him. But Yitzav, when a guy fires somebody in a big company, so you call security to take the guy out, so you shouldn't take anything that he has in the drawers with him. The same thing. He made men take him out of the country before he gave him in. On the other hand, by Avimelech, did the same thing. But Avimelech said, please stay in my country. That's the difference between Avimelech and Pari. Pari is a Rosh, Avimelech was a tzaddik, but he wanted, whatever it is, but he wanted to stay. I want a tzaddik to live in my country. Okay.
So she was learning that Avram Avinu was already a billionaire.
Right.
So you can't just kill influential people. The whole world's going to know.
No, that doesn't make a difference. It's very easy to do it. There's I don't remember who it was, but I remember it was with Augustus Caesar. They had a triumvirate. I don't remember who the third partner was. It was Mark Antony, Augustus, or whatever his name is, and they had a third guy. That was a partnership, and the third guy was visiting Augustus. Before his name was Octavius at that time. That's who he was, Octavius Caesar, which is Augustus Caesar. Okay. Anyway, he was visiting him, and the one of his waiters or his soldiers said to him, he's in your hands now. You could kill him. So he says, if you would have killed him, then I would have rewarded you. But now that you told me to kill him, I can't kill him. He's a guest in my house. I have to protect him. Right? Okay. Same thing goes with the thing there. This guy, we want him dead, so the waiter will stab you in the back. He'll poison your food. How are you going to protect yourself out of it? You're a guest in somebody else's house. You have no way. You don't bring your taster with you. So what he will do, therefore, you're at his mercy. But if we're fighting in a war, then but as a guest, I'm at your mercy. That's the point of what he is. So they make him kill me. It's an easy way to kill me. Okay. Okay, so he went up from Mitzrayim and he had a lot of money. He said, and with him he has light. Now why? And this is one of the reasons, or the reason probably, why the Bnei Light get a chelik. And then the Yerusha. Yerusha he lived Bnei Light. Why didn't that the Yerusha? Yerusha to Jankel. What did he get the Yerusha for? Because he kept quiet, Rashi says. When he said Achoisiat, and he didn't say anything. You see, he didn't say anything. So first of all, it's his Rebbe. Second of all, it's his brother-in-law, right? It's his uncle. There's no reason he's going to squeal on him. I mean, there's something. But the thing is, he didn't even say, huh. Like, because, Avram doesn't lie. So if Avram said she's my sister, so there should have been a reaction from Lech, like, what's going on here? Like, why is he calling her my sister? She's my sister, not his sister, right? And besides, I'm taking away money from him, because you want to make a shidduch, say, I'm the brother, not you, right? So obviously, we're the big brother and the little brother. So therefore, they both got money. That's what got him the Lech. The Lech got money out of it. The rest of the people didn't get any money, but at least the two brothers, they got money. Okay. And they have a fight. The Roy Avram and Roy Lech. What was the fight? They go to take out the sheep to pasture, and the Roy Lech put them on somebody's private field. So they start calling them crooks, they're doing it, and they give back with their answer. No, we're not. It's our land. It really belongs to Avram, and we're his Yairish, and therefore totally it's ours, and whatever it is. And I believe, I can't say for sure, because the Lashon is alluded in. It's a Rashi in Parshas Kiseitze. It brings a medrash that's over here. that the Medrash is on the thing. Here's the pasuk. Let me just find it here. Shaftim. Too far. Seitze. Okay. Last page. Here, last page. Okay. Ki yiriv ben anoshim v'nigzor hamishpat. So Rashi says ki yiriv, that peace won't come out of a fight. Seifeli is nigofim hamishpat. Emma mehata ein shalom yotzim mitoich riva. Mi goram leloit lifresh min hatzadik. Who caused Loit to leave the tzaddik? The Mariv, the fight. So the way Sumashma, who started the fight? They started the fight with the way Avram, by calling them a bunch of crooks, right? So what should they have done? They could have done it this way. Hey, Loit, what are you doing? He said, what do you mean what are we doing? We're putting off, we're giving off our sheep good field. Putting on the other guy's field over here. He said, but it belongs to somebody. No, it doesn't. It belongs to us. He says, yeah, it's a funny thing. You're right. You're right. But Avram told us to take it to the midbar. Why would he do that if it belongs to us? You know what? We'll have to ask him when we get back. Okay, so I wouldn't do anything because then the late would have seen, okay, we see there's something very strange here, that it's good logic, and they agreed to the logic, but even though they agreed, they said, but this doesn't make sense, Avram told us not to do. So then you wouldn't steal. But if I call you a crook, all of a sudden I got to defend myself. So this happens in different towns. It happened actually in Denver and stuff like that, broke up the community. And it was going to happen in Milwaukee. It didn't, Baruch Hashem, where they wanted to start a co-ed school with the excuse for kiruv. And the other people were fighting and saying, no, we don't baloney. You don't mean it for kiruv. You want a co-ed school. And they're singing there, whatever you call it, because you have to have a school. So therefore you're going to go down the madrege, whatever it is. It was a fight. So they called them shkotzim. Instead, what should they do? I don't know what they should have done. But that over there, that was the case. So those two towns, and Denver actually became, and in Milwaukee they stopped it. That was the thing there. So we had this thing also up in Toronto. So the Malbim says when you give hasroya to somebody, that you chayiv misa, you're supposed to do it in a way that the guy, he's going to take you seriously. Because let's say you're arguing with a guy in Beis Medrash, if you're chayiv misa for something, right? And he holds you not chayiv misa for something. And therefore you're going to say, you're going to do that, you're chayiv misa. He's going to say, yeah, you want to see, I want to do it, and I'm not going to be chayiv misa. And then he's chayiv misa. Right? You're not allowed to do that. You can't cause him to do an avera by your warning him, because what you're doing is he doesn't believe you. So if he doesn't believe you, that's what he's going to be able to use. So you can't do such a thing. So the same thing over here. You don't call people names. That's basically what it means. Okay. All right. So, and then he tells him, okay, we shouldn't have this fight. He parled me a lie. Now, from here we learn out a little bit of digduk. Aser b'sril t'tisasher. So Aser is on the left side, right? In the sin, right? Aser, give myself, b'sril t'tisasher, then I'll put it on the right side. So he says, in hasmoel, if you make it to the left, va'imino, I will make it to the right. So then I'll give you that. But what happens if you're making it to the right, you only want to give a little bit, so then I'm going to make sure you only have a tenth of your money. I'm going to make you poor. That's how it has nothing to do, what's that got to do with stocky here and stuff like that, but they learn it from this person. So I can't even see it. And it has to do it, but from this person. What does Light do? He looks at Stein and he goes back down to Stein. He goes to Stein. So it says, and first of all, Dan we'll talk about in a second. We have to left him. So Rashi says, why you have to left him? Because as long as the Rosh was with him, he's not going to talk to him. What makes Leit a Rosh? Leit was a big tzaddik. He went with him by Leit, right? So this is talking about the first time. No, this is talking about the second time, right? The second time. But he was already in Sdom by the wartime. He was in Sdom that was 5 years early. We'll have to figure out the years how to work that in a second. But that he was there before. So now you know there were bad people, and you're going back. Maybe the first time you didn't know there were bad people. You know, it was a good country, it's a good place, a good economy. You're going down to make a good living. So you went there. But the second time, you know, they're Rishayim, so why are you going now? So that's why he's a Rosh. Okay. It means a Rosh did a bad thing, but I don't mind living his life. And basically, the Chayr is a Talmud of Avram. So the idea is it important to be the best you can be, or the best you can be, or the best of the people where you are? So, Leit held you have to be only the best we are. If I hang out with the worst guys in the world, they'll be the best. Right? I have around with good guys, I got a problem. So I don't do that. So therefore he went down to Sdom. And Avram held you have to be the best you could be. So it doesn't matter where I am, I have to be the best I can be. So it doesn't make a difference. Okay, so that's what happened over there. And then the Bishop tells me he's going to make him kid. Now we get to the story of Kedolema. Now, we don't know exactly when it took place because we have two ways of translating the Psukim. What happened was Rashi describes, we got to remember, we're going from a time when there was one king in the world to a time when all of a sudden got a bunch of nations. When was that? By the Migdal. Right, under Nimrod. And how old was Avram by the Migdal? Oh, he was around then? Yeah, he was around then. He was 48 years old at the Migdal. Okay, so he's 48 years old. He's 48 years old. So now and he's 75 when he told him to leave. So let's say this story is continuing, in order, the way it is. So then, let's see what it is. Shtemos Leshana Avdu Kedolema. 12 years they served him. 13 years, Shleishes Leshana Maradu. 13 years they revolted. And in the 14th year they came. So that's 26 years, right? 14 and 12. So it's 26 years. 26 and 48 is how much? 26 and 48 is just 1 year shorter. There's 69, right?
74.
74, man. Okay. 28 and 64 is 74. So he couldn't have been, so he's 1 year under 75. So this battle took place when he was 74. And he's in Haran at 75. It don't work. Okay. So we better do it. So it's talking about, we'll translate the words differently. 12 years he revolted, 13 years, on the 12 years he served, 13th year he revolted, not 13 years, the 13th year, and the 14th year, because we're only dealing with 14 years. 14 years with 58 is already not so bad. So it's 62 or something like that. So we're under this thing. We have years to play with. We can play this way and can do this way. Okay. So now you need a bit of raya that happened before. But that's about the only thing is. So if you go through these things as it happened, so you have the war, the story of the war, and then he comes to Malki Tzedek, and he gives a ma'aser from everything, right? And then he has this discussion with what? Then it says, Acha hadvarim ha'ela, the Benishim comes to him, tells him, I'm going to reward you a lot. And the Benishim, and Avram says, what are you going to reward me when I have no kids? Okay, we'll look back. So if you see, Rashi says, Achad Dvarim Ha'ele means far. Where's the Loshen? Achad Dvarim Ha'ele Kamok Shinem Acha Somach. I mean, it's near. Achere is Muflik. Right? So Acha took place after the story of Malki Tzedek, which is after the war. So the war took place before the Bris Ben Absorim, because that's the beginning of the Bris Ben Absorim. Okay. So that would be the right to the Bris Ben Absorim. So again, you can say, no, maybe this, I have no one that actually says one way or the other. So, but they do try to work out the 24 years. That they do work on. Okay, so here came along the Shivas, a big vort here, that the idea is that that he says this thing twice. He says what he says. First he says, I have no children, and the guy takes care of my house. Is the Doyle Mashki? He takes over my Torah to the Rebbe, to the people. He's all my Torah. That's what Doyle Mashki means. He's taking my Torah and he pours it to the other people. Okay. Avram Haili Nosat Zara, and then Avram said, "You didn't give me children. Ben Beisi Yoshesi." And I said, "You said the same thing a second ago. What are you thinking to get for?" Save two, and he says Vayema. It's not one statement; it's two statements. And Avram and the Rebbeinu doesn't answer him anything in the middle. So what's the two statements? So the Shiva learns is Charote. Originally he says to the Rebbeinu, what are you going to give me? He's nothing to give me. The whole reason, my whole purpose of life is to make your mokib in the world. You know, I don't have children. I have a Talmud. The Talmud's going to give over my Torah. Okay, Talmud's going to give over my Torah, so that's going to work. Okay, good thing. He thought about it a few minutes. Talmud can't give over the Torah. Shiva has it as a shiur. It's good to look at it. The 10th shiur in Shabbos, which is the last shiur, I think, in the first parak, is Onef Beis and Gimel. That talks about the cases there. That he has a story with the Psochim. It's Rabbi Baba Chone, it goes on a Rashi, but he explained the whole Inyan of Psak. Rabbi Baba Chone had a son, and his son asked him, what's the din of Kutach? So he answers in Patas for Pesach. He says, Machlik is Rav Yechanan. Rav held its chorus, and Rav Yechanan held its mutter. So he goes, Sofik the Rai says, L'chuma. That means you have no choice. But I am a Talmud of Rav Yechanan, so I can eat it. Hey, so he told it to me. So now I'll be also, I'll be able to eat it. No, that doesn't work that way. Telling it to you doesn't make it halacha. If I'm your Rebbe, and I'm pasking, if I'm only giving you over what my Rebbe said, not me, I'm not pasking, because Rabbi says I don't know the difference Rav and Rav Yechanan. So therefore, as far as that goes, but I'm a Talmud of Rabbi Yechanan, so I can follow him. You're not. So therefore, but to tell me, no, it doesn't work that way. So therefore, what would happen is the Torah would end right away. You always go l'chumrah. Everything, after a while, it's going to be two-thirds services aren't going to exist. Torah's not good. So I need people that are going to make it their Torah. That's going to be that they understand it enough to say, I agree that this is right, and stuff like that. Not how to say that. So therefore, you need it. So therefore he says, you read this, realize that? So the Bensham says, he won't inherit you. You'll have what goes from you. Because your kids, you'll teach them that they have to make it their Torah. And that's the point that counts. So just say repeating Torah doesn't mean anything. Okay. So then he says to him, okay, then he comes and he said, that took you out of Ur Kasdim, to give you this land. The Rebbeinu took him out of Ur Kasdim. The end of it says, they went from Ur Kasdim. So Terach took me out of Ur Kasdim. He says, so they teach us the side of life, that whatever happens to you in life, I did it. You think you did it. Nothing happened. You didn't do anything. Terach took you, but I made the circumstances for Terach to take you, so that means I took you out of Ulfastin to give you the land. Okay, so the land is mine. So we're going to have a problem. So he tells them, but you should know, if his children are going to be slaves for 400 years. Three conditions. They'll be Eretz Le'Lahem, Va'avodum, V'inu Oisam. So there's three different madregas. So for Eretz Le'Lahem, if it's his land, if Avram takes it now, he gave it to me, right? So when are they going to start counting the 400 years? When it becomes Ois Avram's. That means when the kids went down to Mitzrayim, when Yaakov goes down to Mitzrayim, that's when you start to count the 400 years. But if I don't take the land, so Eretz Le'Lahem is even living in Eretz Canaan, is not my land, right? So therefore I can count it from the time Yitzchak is born. So that's why you can count the future. So I don't want the land of Bnei, he tells the Bnei Yisrael. Don't give it to me. So it says at the end of the Parsha, it says, Nayemahu, Yebayemahu calls Hashem es Avram bris leima lezarachon asati so says I'm going to give it to your children, not to you. So now we know Tchiyas HaMeisim HaTeirah, because I promised them to give it to them. Lehem ksiv, lechem loy ksiv. So therefore we have to know he has to give it to Avram somewhere along the line. So he has to be alive. That's Tchiyas HaMeisim. That's Tchiyas HaMeisim HaTeirah. Okay, and if you notice, there is no chivi in the 10 nations that he mentions, and yet in the Zion nations of the Shivumas, there is a chivi. So the idea is the chivi really is Esav. He hates Harseir, which is the chivi we learn from Parshas Vayishlach, that they are the chivi. That the thing, because it says Livam Vasanoah chivi, and he's the guy in the chayri. So chayri, when they say that the chayri, it doesn't mean that they're a different nation. The chayri just meant why they were called the chayri, because they smelled the ground and they're able to tell you what to plant on it. In other words, they were able to tell you what minerals are in there, whatever is there. That was why they were called the chayri, but they're really the chivi. Now, a chivi went two places. They had some cities in the Eretz Canaan, which is Shechem and whatever it is, he's a chivi, and what do you call it? So you have those, and the cities that made peace with him, who made with Yeshua. He told me came from a little place. Gevayim, right? They're all chivis. Those cities were chivis, and so we don't really find that we ever killed any chivis, except Yaakov himself killed out Shem, and his kids he killed out Shem, and the rest of them they didn't kill. So but we took their land. They infiltrated us. They became Gerim and stuff. Then we made them into our what do you call it? The Beis Hamikdash or whatever it is. They fooled us. Okay, but we didn't kill. But they would have become to us when they got the Kenyan, Kenizim, Kadmoni. When we got Ammon, Moav, and Edom in the Yachas Hayamim, the Chivi would have come to us. So who is the seventh nation that did this 3 and 7? So there could be Chivi before? No, that's the Seforim. And the thing there. That's when the Dvarim, it says the Seforim was divided between Ammon, Moav, and Klal Yisrael. And that's Oig's land was considered El Seforim, and that's the land that we were talking about. Okay. So that's basically what he got over here. Then it says Hagar. So we learned 3 things from him. What happened? She gave us a wife. There's the Rambam and the Ramban and the Rashi. Rashi is a very strange way, but he keeps it up the whole way. He also learns the same way. I take a tzorah into my house, that somehow gives me a schus to get a kid. I don't know, that goes after, it depends, I mean, it's ashkofis, Do I punish myself if I'm not chayiv it? It sounds like a Christian theory. Like Christians, the first chet, so they believe that we're chayiv already when we create it. So therefore, we always said, so the monks, they always punish themselves. They wear hair shirts. They wear they flog themselves. They go on those things there. Yidden, you don't find such a thing. Reb Shimon used to do it, but he had because he had tzvekis on himself. Not normally, I wouldn't think anyone would normally do, make himself, I want service tonight, You eat service, I should get in case I have any averis over there, or give me more schar. Now get averis, that's not bad. I get rid of them. But the mice, I'll get more schar. When you get more schar, because you get a pain. If I have an asoyin to do a mitzvah, and now I have pain, and I still do it, I get more schar. Right? That I hear. But that's why it's called Yisurim Shalava sometimes. But if you don't deduce, then it becomes Yisurim Yisoyin, you get a punishment. That's the punishment then. So these are both ways. Okay. So she gives Hagah. Hagah gets pregnant right away, and Sarah feels that he was not treated. He treated her much like a wife, not like a shifra, and he chased it away. Okay, let's say that logic would be more like the Ramban, that the reason that she's considered I will get kids from her is because she's mine, she belongs to me. So anything that she gives birth to is mine. So therefore it's my kids. So that would be a simple upshot. That's the Ramban. Okay, so anyway, it's what he calls she runs away from Sarah. So she meets 3 malachim. One malach tells her go back and suffer. Okay. Second malach says you can have a child, and you're going to be the mother of a great nation. The third malach told me you're going to have a son. I want you to call him Shmuel because God heard your problems. Chumash Shiur, God heard your problems. But this is something to understand in tefillah. So she prayed. That was what Ben Shem's answering her. God heard your pain, right? What did he tell you to do? Go back and suffer. Sometimes that's the answer. Why is that the answer? I mean, what kind of crazy answer is that? I'm asking to get out of the pain, and you tell me go back and suffer. I'm suffering because you need the suffering. In other words, you're going to be the mother of a great nation. You don't know what it means. And being a great nation doesn't mean just a bunch of kids there. You have to be able to teach them what the purpose of life is, things and that. You have to be by soul in the house to be able to learn those things. Go back and suffer. That goes for your benefit. That's for your benefit. The thing there, but I heard you. It's not that I didn't hear you. Because normally when a guy has solace and he promises, God didn't listen to me. God heard you. That's the answer he gave you. I'm not giving you what you want necessarily. But so figure out where what he gave me answers my problem. That's what you got to figure out. Like Lecha, I asked him for $1 billion, and therefore to why I want to buy this land, right? And he didn't give it to me, right? He gave me $15, and I was able to buy a little piece of desert land over there, right? Whatever it is there, nothing worthless. This thing that I bought for that would have been $1 billion, turned out to be nothing. Over there, I got my oil wells. It's a little bit of that land over there. So who knows what the nation is doing? I don't know. I just thought that he's not listening to me because I asked for this and he's giving me this. So that means that's your job to know he listened to you and he gave you this. You have to know what did he give you. How did he answer your problem with what he gave you? That is the important part. Okay. And that's it basically. Then the answer, that's the last thing. He tells him, Hasalech l'fanav eisam. This is the Lekei Avram of Shmonesra. This is whatever it says, Lekei Avram, is Halech l'fanav. Before you, it's Lekim is Halech, you walk with me, now I want you to walk ahead of me. What do you mean, what does it mean, walking with me, walk ahead of me? Walking with me means you see Hatzlacha. You listen to God, you see Hatzlacha, okay, I continue listening, right? I want you to do it without listening, without seeing Hatzlocha Menich. I want you to go ahead of me. I'm behind you. Don't worry about it, right? I'm quite afraid if you're behind me. I don't know how far behind you are. I mean, if you're next to me, I'm okay. I'm safe. But you're behind me. I'm not too brave. So obviously, my whole derech of chinuch is going to be different. Before then, I told my kids, kids, you follow the Torah, you'll be matzliach. So the kid does it, right? And the thing there, what happens? I can't show what hatzlocha means. Hatzlocha means olam haba you're going to get, right? What's olam haba, Daddy? I don't know. You don't know, so that you want me to give up olam haba for something I don't know what it's about? What are you kidding? Ain't going to work. So how are you going to make the kid a former kid? So it's your job to train him in a way that all of a sudden to make us see him is more important than the state championship. In other words, because kids, you teach, we got to win the state championship, this, that's how you get the hype up. You make that same hype for the siyum. The kids in yeshiva are not the kids in public school. They don't have the same aims, the aims that they have there. And if you don't do that, you're going to have the public school kids. So the ones that tried to live in this world, be a public school kid, but be a frummy at the same time, they're not very successful. It lasts maybe for a little while and then it falls off by the wayside because there's nothing to keep him there. But you have to make it, the kid want it. How the kid want it? It's a lot of hype. That's more than anything. That's halakha funny. That's the Ikil. Okay. I've gotten Shabbos. Next week, there won't be anything on Friday. He'll be broadcast on Friday, but I'll have to make it before Friday because I'll be in Detroit. I'm leaving for Detroit Thursday. So, I won't be here on Friday next week. The week after I'll be back. Even though we have another convention or something, I got to go away for something for Shabbos. But until Thanksgiving, I'm away, and then for next.